Welcome to Night Shifter ASMR. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight I'd like to continue my just chatting type of videos, talking about different things. It's the last time we talked about envy, and I thought, well, since we're talking about the seven deadly sins, we can talk about the seven deadly sins and what they mean and how they affect your life. And this is not a religious type of thing, it's more of a philosophy type of thing, because it's really philosophical concepts and doesn't really have much to do with Christianity or any other religion for that matter. These are basic principles that have been plaguing mankind for since the beginning, and it's just that the different religions have approached them in different ways. And growing up in the Western world and being raised in Catholicism, even though I never was really, I'm not practicing or anything, but I have a background in it because my mother was a big Catholic and my father was a Methodist. He eventually converted to Catholicism, but I think his heart wasn't really in it. He was just doing it to please my mother, but anyhow, that's just a little background of my background. But I knew very early on that religion was not for me. I'm not into the ritual. My ritual is more of well, Jesus said, go into your closet and pray. And I think the idea being that, you, like he also said, don't you know you are the temple of the holy living God? And the idea being that we have to put it into action in our daily lives. It doesn't really matter about where you are. It's about what you do. And so I thought we'd continue tonight talking about the seven deadly sins and my thoughts on it. It's just my thoughts. I'm not putting forth any. I'm not preaching. I'm not putting forth any kind of argument. I'm just giving you my thoughts in the hopes that maybe it'll make you, or it'll help you to start thinking about it, how it is interacting in your daily life, and how you can maybe help you to start to think about it more and observe it and recognize it in your life. And so anyhow, I thought we'd start with or continue with pride tonight, and because it's an interesting one. Pride is a dual nature. I mean, it can be a good thing. You can be proud of yourself for what you've accomplished and that sort of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. That's a very good, healthy thing. But on the other hand, it can lead to arrogance, and that's kind of the negative aspect. It's all it's all yin and yang. There's a positive and a negative to just about everything. Very few things are, and I can't really even think of anything. Very few things are one or the other. Absolutely. Usually, they're going to have the seed of the other within themselves. So. With pride, my thought on it is it's related to the idea of God, and not specifically religion. You don't have to believe in a particular religion, their version of what God is or whatever. I think it's just the idea. You have to recognize, or you have to realize within yourself that you are not the highest power. There's always going to be something higher than you, because one human mind or soul or whatever, body, mind, or soul, can't control everything. You can't control the universe. You're not meant to control the universe. So there's a saying that the beginning of wisdom is fear of the Lord. And I think what that means is that you have to recognize that you are not God. You are, but you're not, you're a God with a little g, you have to recognize that and be able, and the reason for that is you have to be able to let go of things. Letting go is a big thing in spiritual practice. You have to be able to, you hear the saying all the time, let go, let God. And that's very important, because if you don't, and you try and control every aspect of everything, you're either going to go crazy, you're going to kill yourself, or, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well at all, because you can't. It's beyond the human capacity at this stage, anyway, to control everything. So you have to be able to let go. And that's why I think this is the natural follow from what we talked about last time, envy, which is letting go of things that aren't meant for you. So anyhow, they the counterpart to, or the counterpart, I guess, the opposite of pride would be humility, and that's practicing humility. Now, unfortunately, in Western civilization, because we have such an emphasis on the Yang principle and power and drive and ambition and all that, that humility is seen as weak by a lot of people. But it's really not. I mean, if you think about it, humility is extremely strong. It's stronger than pride, actually, because it's the ability to let go of pride. And if you have the ability to let go of something and you don't require it, then you are the master of it. So, in a sense, because you'll always need the pride and ambition and drive and all of that, because those things, otherwise you end up with sloth. You're not doing anything because you have no drive or ambition. So it's very important to have balance in these things. And so anyway, why is a healthy pride, and how do you avoid becoming arrogant and that sort of thing? And like we said, you have to have a concept of a higher power, I believe. Once again, let me state, because I don't want to sound like I don't know everything. These are just my thoughts and what I have figured out for myself and what works for me. And I'm sharing it with you in the hopes that you can start developing it within yourself. And because I feel that a lot of these things in our society today have been pushed under the rug. Nobody wants to talk about spiritual things, and if they do, it's kind of in a frou-frou attitude, and everybody kind of laughs and says, oh yeah, that's, oh, that's so neat, what a flower, what a space cadet or flower child you are, or whatever. But there's really practical, meaningful, material aspects that come from discipline, and discipline is a big part of humility. Training yourself, realizing that, yes, there are things that I'm not capable of, but if I train myself, if I work hard at it, and that's where the work ethic comes in. You hear about the Christian work ethic or the Protestant work ethic or whatever, being willing to work on yourself and improve yourself and face yourself, really. Face yourself. You hear about facing your demons and all that kind of stuff. Well, and just like if you're familiar with the image or the idea of Saint Michael the Archangel, you often see him depicted as standing with his foot on the neck of a serpent or a dragon or something. And but you have to realize he's not a dragon slayer. He subdues the dragon. He doesn't kill it, because killing it, it's a part of it's the Yang principle, and you need that. You can't just kill it. That's what I was just saying. You'll end up with sloth if you kill your ambition and drive. You want to subdue it. You want to harness it, and help it to work for you instead of against you. And I have to stop saying I know. I realize I say it a lot. There's the way that I have found to do that is to, like they say, let go, let God. There's certain things while you're working hard, and you run into obstacles, and you think, gosh, how am I going to overcome this, and how am I going to deal with this situation, because it seems rather impossible, And by the way, in case you're wondering, yeah, I believe in a higher power, source or whatever. I don't really have I don't really have a concept. I don't believe in like a guy sitting on a chair or a throne or whatever up in the clouds somewhere. It's not like that. I think it's both within and without. It's all around. It's like the force, but there is a design. And that's another major point, that you have to believe, or you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. But if you believe in a higher power, then you also believe in a plan. You believe in order. Order is important, because what is its opposite? Chaos. And nothing can really grow very well in chaos. So you have to have a firm foundation, and that firm foundation begins with the belief in order, that there is a way to organize your life and your environment and your mind and your body and all of these things to be there's a way to do it. And and that begins, like I say, the beginning of the wisdom is fear of the Lord. That begins with having a concept of right and wrong, and for you now, in order to develop yourself. Now, your concept of right and wrong may not be your neighbor's concept of right and wrong, but you have to find what works for you. You have to find your moral core and start there, and build on that, or weed it out, weed the garden. That's a big problem today, is that we haven't had the willpower to weed our garden. So we have a lot of things running around in the garden that aren't good for us. So, but anyway, you need to start somewhere. Start with yourself. I think I'm not really I haven't read much of his stuff, but I think I heard a quote from Jordan Peterson who said, clean your room or something like that, and what that means is just start small, start with yourself, start with your everyday existence, and be like, how can I improve myself? How can I do things in a different way? And that's important. You have to be able to realize that if your life isn't what you want it to be, if the outside is not reflecting, the outside reflects the inside. That's a key concept. If you're disordered and disorganized in your mind and body and soul, your environment's very likely going to be that way too. So, so start small. Clean your room, make your bed, brush your teeth, do all the little things. Start to organize your life. Simplify. That's another quote. Simplify. I don't really remember who said it. For me, it was I always found what was his name? The guy who went off into the woods. Anyway, it'll come to me in a second. It's been a while since I read that book, and I'm having a mind blank on it. But you know what I mean. He said, simplify your life and get rid of all the external things and things that aren't important. Prioritize your life, and be willing to cut away the things that you don't need or that are bad for you. And not that anything is necessarily bad. It's just that like overindulgence and that sort of thing. Things that keep you out of balance, and you know what they are. If you're having those issues, you know what your issues are. But the important thing is to be able to, like they say, the first step is recognition that you have a problem. And that's, if your life is not what you want it to be, then there's obviously a glitch somewhere. But the good news is that pretty much nothing, unless you've gone too far, then you need to get professional help. If you feel like you've gone too far and it's out of your control, that again is appealing to a higher power. You need to go to someplace and get help, therapy or a hospital or whatever you need to do. Those are the intense cases, but I'm talking about, every day people who are in the middle there, and not in the extremes, but they still want to improve themselves. and I think that starts with humility, which is, what we're talking about. Pride and humility, they're really the same thing. They're just different degrees. And if you feel like, if you're in pride and you're moving to the negative side towards arrogance, then you're going to feel like nothing you do is wrong. So, because in your mind, you're moving towards the idea that I am the higher power. And there's a lot of people who are like materialists and atheists and stuff like that. They're moving in that direction. They might not realize it, but and of course they're never going to get there because you can't get there. So what's going to happen is they're going to have a breakdown at some point. But because they can't control everything and they can't release control. So that's the issue. You have to be able to release control and acceptance and say, okay, I can't handle this. But when I'm trying to talk about the people who are in the middle, who are still, pretty sane and pretty even-headed, and can say, okay, I just want to make some small improvements in my life and see how that helps me. Baby steps, see how that helps me build and grow and become a better person. And so that's the key. You want to avoid becoming arrogant because you can always learn from other people. Other people always have, different. Remember, we're all the same thing. We just are different viewpoints. And I try to be open all the time to other people, what they're saying, and you really have to listen to other people, because sometimes even if they're like yelling at you and angry at you, what they're saying could still have value. There could be something in there that's like, oh, I didn't think about it from that perspective, but yeah, you're right, kind of. I think I can apply some of those principles. And so anyway, that's but in order to do that, you have to be humble enough to say, okay, look, I could be wrong. And like I'm, I say I could be wrong. This is just my thoughts. And y'all are free and more than welcome. If you can point out some flaw then please do in the comments, so I can improve myself, because I still, I'm not perfect. I have a long way to go. I have a lot of flaws, but I'm trying to work through them. So yeah, I appreciate your input. Negative, I know a lot of people are going to hate or whatever and be like, oh yeah, and I welcome that, because like I said, even when people are you're striking a nerve somewhere, and you can identify and say, okay, well, maybe you have a point. Maybe I need to adjust. Like if you saw my other video, that was really the very short one. That was kind of an affirmation of unity, and adjustments can be made. You have the power to change, and that's what it's all about. So and I'm there. I'm not putting myself above anyone else. I don't want it to seem that way. I'm certainly, I try and remind myself that this is kind of a risky thing, because you can get, I'm trying to remain even-headed. It's the message, not the messenger. It has nothing to do with me. And, these thoughts come from somewhere beyond. I'm just the instrument. And but anyhow, so I hope this gets out. I hope this does someone some good, and then I'll feel like it's accomplished something. But anyhow, I think that's about it. You get the general idea. You have to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, how can I improve myself? What can I do? What am I not doing the best that I can? We can always do better. That's the theme. And anyhow, I think that about covers it. It's a good place to start anyway. just be able to take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what do I need to work on today? What minor little thing can I do differently that may help me to improve myself? And when it builds on that, because when you see that you've made an effort and you've made a change and something in your life begins to improve, then you feel better about yourself. And that builds your healthy pride. Self-confidence is another word for healthy pride. So yeah, I hope you'll have an open mind, give it a try, and even if it's something super simple and you think it's silly or whatever, but just give it a try and say, hey, okay, well, I've been doing this my whole life, and it doesn't seem to be working out that well. So let's alter our perception a little bit and make the change and see what happens. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and like I said, I'm not trying to preach or anything like that. I'm just trying to share some ideas and some insights, and I hope people of like mind will pick up on it and be like, yeah, we can do that, because I think we start to improve the world by improving ourselves. That's kind of the philosophy behind my whole channel, ASMR and otherwise, and philosophical concepts and stuff like that. So the whole idea is that we can change the world if we do it, but we have to start with ourselves. So I hope you got something out of this, and please comment and let me know your ideas. We all share ideas. I think that'd be a great thing, and have communication. That's a very important thing. So have a great night, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope it didn't come off as too preachy. I'm trying not to. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.